Welcome to our course of Adobe Illustrator Essential. Well, this is going to be our introduction, and also we're going to learn about the interface of Adobe Illustrator. So, before getting into our first lesson, let's learn what Adobe Illustrator is. So, what is Adobe Illustrator? Adobe Illustrator is a vector-based graphic design software developed by Adobe Inc. It's a powerful tool used by designers, artists, illustrators, and professionals in various industries to create and manipulate scalable vector graphics. So what is the overview of this course? So throughout this course, you will embark on a journey to master the essential skills needed to harness the full potential of Adobe Illustrator. Whether you're a complete beginner or looking to refine your existing skill, this course will provide you with a solid foundation to navigate the software confidently and efficiently. So, by the end of this course, you will have gained a solid understanding of Adobe Illustrator's core functionalities and be equipped with the skills to create professional-grade vector graphics, illustrations, logos, and more. Get ready to unleash your creativity and explore the limitless possibilities of Adobe Illustrator as we embark on this exciting journey together. So, let's hop on into Adobe Illustrator and learn about the basic interface of it. On my screen, you can see that I have opened up Adobe Illustrator, and this is the home screen or the home panel of Adobe Illustrator. Now you can see that there are a couple of things. On the top left, you can see on this corner, we have a couple of these tabs, which I'm also going to be cover one by one in each lesson. And also there are a couple of tools and also commands, which you will see in those specific tabs. So first off, we're going to we're going to show you a couple of things which you see on this panel. Okay, because we're going to go through our ribbons later on. So first off, we have our home. Now you can see this is how the home panel looks like. From here, you can open up in browser. You're going to get started with Illustrator. It offers you a couple of series or introduction tutorial on how you'll be able to automate Adobe Illustrator. Now you can see you will be able to find tools and more. You can learn more about Adobe Illustrator from this interface. Now on the bottom, we have our files, or what is the size or what is the resolution of the file you want to start off with. They're known as presets, or whatever there is, they are also termed to be canvas. Okay, now you can see that there are a couple of them over here, but there are also more. When you click on more presets, you'll basically find out that there are saved, recent, mobile, then we have web, then there is print, then there's film and video, arts and illustration, and all of them. You can select whichever preset you want according to your desire and also according to the canvas you want so that you can work on it. And just like I said, they are also canvases. Okay, so they are kind of like pages where you can work on or put your design on. Okay, and when you select any of the preset, let's say I want to work on a mobile preset. Okay, I want it to be perfect or visible or presented on a mobile. So you can select any of the mobile ones. If you want to select web, just select on web and you will basically find out the web layouts or, let's say the presets according to your need. And also there is another advantage of this Adobe Illustrator. Well, if you are using the newest version of Adobe Illustrator, if you're connected to the internet and also connected to Adobe account, you'll basically find out there are a couple of templates which you can also work on. Well, I will show it to you in a bit. Okay, so when you select any of the preset, now you see on the right side there is also a panel of properties. Well, these properties are very similar to the preset which you are going to use. Now you can select which width you want, which height you want, and what type of, let's say, format you want. If you want it in points, if you want it in pixels, inches, feet, so that you can fix up your width and height, you can do that. You can also fix up millimeters, centimeters, meter, feet, but I most of the time prefer using pixels because it helps me to find out my exact let's say preset. I also sometimes use inches, but it's going to be up to you, whichever, format you want. You can also change the name of the preset. Let's say I want it to be interface. Okay, I'm going to keep it interface, and you can see this is going to be the name of my preset. Now you can fix up the bleed. You can fix up the top bleed, bottom bleed, left, and also right. And you can also conjoin them and also keep them different on each sides if you want to. So this is going to be up to you. If they're conjoined, you'll basically find out that it's going to work same on each and every one. But if you click on this option again, or tool, you'll basically find out that only the top, whichever one you select, that is going to change. Okay, so now you know how it works. Now there are also a couple of advanced options over here. You can select from over here. You can also minimize it if you want to. Now when you select on advanced option, you will be able to select color mode, raster effect, and also preview mode. Now when you click on color mode, you'll basically find out CMYK color and also RGB color. Well, I prefer keeping it RGB because it helps me find out the specific color. Then we have this raster effect. Well, this is also rasterizing effect. Now, how much PPI do you want? Well, when I'm working on it, I most of the time prefer to keep it on medium, not too high, not too low. So it just gives you the exact, result, or, a very professional type of look, but it doesn't take much space. Now in the preview mode, you will be able to select if you want pixel or overprint. Well, I prefer keeping it on default because it helps me get out or present any, format or anything, whichever one I want. Now you have more settings over here. When you click on more settings, you will find out more settings about this preset. You will be able to select size, width, number of artboards. You'll be able to do that. Or artboards are also termed as pages or canvas, just like I said. So you'll be able to fix them, fix the template, fix the orientation, and all of them according to my need or to your need. Now you can select this orientation from over here too. If you want it portrait or landscape, it's going to be up to you. I'm going to keep it portrait right now. Now, as we are done with this preset option, now let's go down over here. You can see a couple of presets or a couple of templates are over here. Well, these are pre-built templates, so those are basically edited. So you just have to put in your own data and then you're good to go. Well, these work the same way on each and every category. You will basically find out different templates for different presets, such as different one for mobile, different one for web, different one for print, different one for film and video. Now you can select them. Now you have to stay connected to the internet. Now, if you want to use any one of them, just click on any of the preset. When you click on any of the preset, you'll have to download that. You can also see the preview if you want to. When you click on download, it will be downloaded on your PC, and then you'll be able to work on it whenever you want. Now, it will take a bit of a time to download because it will download it and then apply it directly on your, screen or your workspace, and then you'll be able to work with it. If you don't want to work on it, just make sure to use any blank preset you want to use so that you can start from scratch. Well, for this course, I'm going to suggest you not to use any template or any preset, okay? So that it just helps you to find out, or let's say, increase your capability or increase your skills in Adobe Illustrator. So when it is downloaded, you can just press on open and then you'll be good to go. You can see your current setting, discard CMYK in profile linked content, but profile was set to be honored when the document was created. Just press on continue because it needs to be in CMYK, not RGB. So if you select RGB, just like I said from, let's say the property of the specific preset, if you selected CMYK sometimes and you want to open up RGB, it might not work, or it will just give you that pop-up notification, so that you just have to continue and select, and then you'll be good to go. So this is how the preset is, or this is how the template is. I'm not going to be using it, so just cut this off and then you're good to go. Now it will take me back directly again to home, and you'll see this is how it works. Now we know about home. So this is the learn, and in learn, you'll basically find out what you want to learn about. So Adobe Illustrator also allows you or offers this functionality. Now in cloud documents, you will be able to save all of your documents in clouds. So this is basically like a cloud drive where you'll be able to save your, work, or maybe upload your work and also share them whenever you want. And even if a person shares those files with you, it will appear on shared with you section of Adobe Illustrator. Now, what you can also do is go off to delete it. Well, Adobe Illustrator also offers you a recycle bin so that if you delete any, let's say project or any work from your workspace, it will appear up on deleted, and then you'll be able to restore it from this point. As I don't have anything in my deleted, and as this is a new account, I basically don't have anything on cloud documents shared with you or deleted, so it is basically kind of blank or still loaded. Now you can also create any new preset or start working on them from clicking on create new. When you press on create new, you'll basically see the same type of interface. When you click on more presets, appears over here. You'll be able to select any of the presets and then press on create, and then you'll be good to go. I'll come back to you in a bit. And when you want to open up any project or any file that you worked on previously, and you just click on open, and it will open up this interface for you. From here, you'll be able to select any drive or any file you want to use, and then you just select that AI file, and then you'll be able to open it up whenever you want. So this is basically about the interface of Adobe Illustrator on the home panel. Now I'm gonna do is open this section up, or open a preset, and then show you the interface of the workspace. Press on create new. I'm gonna do is click on, let's say, print, and I'm gonna find out A4. You can see A4 over here. I'm gonna press on create. It will take a bit of a time to load it up on my screen. Now you can see that this is how it will work. Okay. Now this is the interface of Adobe Illustrator or the workspace. Now you can see that there are a couple of tools which you will find out over here. Now the first thing I'm going to be suggesting you is, first off, what you're going to do is go off to Windows, find out Workspace, and then find out Essential Classic. Okay, make sure to select on Essential Classic because it allows you to see all of the tools in Adobe Illustrator, or you can also find them from the right side of the panel. Now let's go through a couple of things, or how the section works, or how the workspace works in Adobe Illustrator. Now you can see, just like I said on the beginning, the top part are the ribbons, which contains most of the commands, or most of the basic commands, and all the tools which you will basically find out in Adobe Illustrator. So we're going to go through them later on one by one. Now, if you want the basic tools of Adobe Illustrator, most of them are on this left side of your workspace. Now you can see that there are a couple of things on these tools, but these are not just it. You can see that there is this corner section, marked like this over here. Well, this means when you right click on those tools, you basically find out more tools. So this icon, basically whichever tool has them, has a couple of tools. Just like this one, if I right click on it, there are 2 tools. If I right click on this one, there are a couple of tools. But as this one does not have any of this icon on this corner, if I right click on it, it will not show me or extend up the workspace of tools. So select whichever one you want. Now you can see that this option is called the color palette. Now there are 3 of these options. This is no fill, this is gradient, and this is going to be our solid color. Now you can also swap colors by pressing on X. If you want to, you can see X. Now if I press on X, it will turn out black. If I press on X again, it will turn out to be white again. So you'll be able to switch through colors by selecting on these. You can also select them and also swap them if you want to. Okay, it's going to be up to you. You can also use a different color palette if you want to. So this is the essential tools of Adobe Illustrator. Now on the top part is going to be, let's say, one of our properties. Now you can select what type of tools, or let's say if you select a tool, now how you're going to customize it. So this part is also very important. You can see that you can select color, you can select the stroke, you can select the size, you can select the width, you can fix the definition, opacity, style, document setup, and also preferences, and also similar objects and all of them. Okay, well, it's going to depend on what type of object or what type of tool you're working with, and they're going to change by time. Now on the right side, we have properties and libraries and a couple of tools. Well, you basically will be able to pop in any of these tools over here on this section, okay, like this. And you can see that all the tools are over here. Now you can see on the properties, we have all the properties about a specific object or a specific, panel, or let's say a worksheet. Not even a worksheet, this is basically called an artboard or a canvas. So all of the properties will be available over here. You'll be able to customize it and also fix it up according to your need. And we also have our libraries. Okay, make sure to stay connected to the internet. And also, as I don't have anything in my libraries because this is a new account, so it is basically empty. Now you can go through a couple of these tools whenever you want. Okay, so this is basically how this interface works, or this is how the workspace works. And you can see this is how you'll be able to arrange documents. You can see it however you want to, but I'm going to prefer to keep it like this, or you can select it however you want. Now you can also switch the workspace if you want to right from over here instead of going to Windows and fixing up your workspace. So basically you'll find it over here. Okay, then you will be able to go through a couple of these options over here too. You can see align art to pixel grid. You will be able to do that. And you can also find this option over here. Just click on it and you will basically find out alignment option and also a couple of tools. Okay, so this is basically how you want your workspace to look like. You can see if you want it aligned, if you want anchor points, if you want artboards, if you want brush, character, clipping mask, and all of those. Okay, so hope you learned about every interface of this lesson. And this is basically very simple and also very basic. So I'm going to suggest you to just fiddle through it. Okay, because if you fiddle through it, you'll basically learn about most of the things are where these tools are, even though I'm going to be giving you, let's say a complete course or complete lesson on where you're going to find those tools, because in the next lesson we're going to go through each and every one of these ribbons and also how those commandment works in Adobe Illustrator. So hope you understood everything in this lesson, and if you have any question, you can ask me, and feel free to ask me because we will guide you through the whole process. So in our next lesson, we're going to learn about the file ribbon and also 5 basic tools of Adobe Illustrator. Now, when I say 5 basic tools, we're going to go through 5 on step by step. So this is going to be the 5 ones, or the first 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the next lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's hop on to our next lesson of Adobe Illustrator.